Okay, so coming back to time management, and this part is specifically for 11th graders. We have talked about the yearly goals and how to fill those in. And we've also talked about the daily plan. Okay, so our yearly goals were just some big areas, resources, and measuring those. And our daily goals was really just a calendar of the whole week where we place in the specific things that we thought we might do during those hours. I will be putting this sample time management sheet up on the Family Connection for you in case you want to use this as a rough draft and then personalize for yourself. Otherwise, you can use this blank template which you've downloaded. Up to you, and you can really, go into whatever kind of, personalization you want. There's all areas to, make the shading and borders and whatever. But like I said, I think the best thing is to keep it fairly simple. All right, now we're going to talk about the weekly goals. Okay, so coming into the weekly goals tab down here, we have across the top, we have tasks in the first column, and then each other column represents a given week. So in these columns, we're dealing with, it starts at July 19th, and goes all the way out to October 12th. You can continue that out further. But each of these columns represents 1 week. Now, what we want to do is initially in the first column with tasks, we just want to brainstorm any particular tasks that we can think about and jot them down. We're going to be able to add to this later. So you might just sit down right now and think about all the various tasks that you have to do. And a task is just a to-do item, something that you are planning to do. So just as an example, I'll write set monthly goals for extracurriculars. Okay, that was something that we have just talked about. It is probably the most effective way that you can make sure that your extracurriculars are going to be very interesting given next year. So that might be something that we want to throw into this, and we're probably going to want to do this every month. So let's go ahead and we'll throw it in for the month of July, then come out 4 weeks, put it in here, come out, okay, that's not, all right, so I'm a stickler for this, so I'm gonna highlight this whole row. I'm gonna come over here, I want this to be red. Oops, not like that. Sorry, you actually come up to format, cells. I'll actually format this for you in the template properly, so you don't actually need to know how to do all of this, but I will fix it. Center font, like a little red action, boom, okay. There. Oops, I don't want this to be red. Yeah, I know, I'm a stickler. Make this black. Okay. So we're going to throw that into each month. X and X. All right. So now I know that in these weeks, I'm going to focus on setting my monthly goals for the following month. All right. Let's throw a couple more in here. Let's see, I've talked to you guys some about the SAT tutorial for the essay. So if you haven't read that, you probably want to get that from me and read some other good sample essays. So let me throw that over here. And, maybe I'll, I'm just going to read it in that week. And then, of course, if I've read that, then I want to practice some of my own essays. So I'll throw that down as another task, write a practice SAT essay. Now obviously I want to do this pretty regularly, so I'll throw this in to these weeks. Okay. All right, so similarly, I have jotted down some various tasks. Some of these are outlined in your focus areas that I just sent out recently. So I'm just going to copy and paste these down, and we can take a look at a few of them, and hopefully you'll get the idea of how this is kind of mapped out once you fill it out. All right, I've got sign up for the PSAT. Again, that's not required of you, but if any of you are in schools that offer the PSAT, since I know that's in October, I'll make sure I'm signed up by the beginning of September. Let's see, note any areas that I've excelled in a particular class during this month or plan to do something. As you know, you're going to be asking teacher recommendations next year, so it's a good idea, as you go through the year to pay attention to, are you getting any kind of commendation in class? Does the teacher say something nice about you in class, or comment on your good work? Let's note that down so we don't forget it next year. Or you can even plan something, think about what you might be able to do to excel in the class. So I popped that down into each month just to remind myself of that. Read my long focus areas mail and maybe add some of those tasks to this list and map them out where I'm going to do those things. One of those things was develop a draft resume, so I'm going to plot that down in there. Some of you have asked me about the draft resume. Some of you have actually also wanted me to send you samples, so hopefully those of you who have asked have gotten that. And the resume is really just an opportunity for, it's a reservoir. Just make a document, let's start throwing things down in there. I've also put in a task here, update my resume, and you see that one goes out pretty much every month as we go forward. Get a haircut, that was just an example to show that you can have your own personal things in here as well. Personalize this as much as you like. Now, the advantage of this, and you can go through the rest of these, and as I said, I'll upload a sample version of this on the Family Connection, so you can use this particular task list and add to it if you like. But as we go through this, when we, down here at the scrolling, so we'll see that we can kind of scroll through. Okay, actually, I will set this to stay here, freeze panes. Okay, so as we go through this, we're going to get to various, one second, hang on. All right, freeze these panes. Okay, you don't need to know how to do all this stuff. This is going to be in the format. So as we go through these weeks, right, say we're coming down here, you see that the column for the current week can be in the nearest place. So, if I'm in the week of August 24th, I can scan down and see these are the specific tasks that I want to do this week. And so I can make sure to add that either to my daily goals calendar or just keep a note of it. I mean, there's only 4 things in this week. Of course, there will be more as you add to it. But I just know that these are the things that I had planned to do in this week. And as I go forward, I get to September 1st, September 7th, and of course these months will continue to extend along here. All right, well that's a very brief description of how you can use this, and I think the best thing is this is particularly useful. You need to make sure you're not missing tasks. It's also to help us develop skills to multitask. Many of the things that you're doing in high school there's a singular focus, prepare for the test next week. This helps you to kind of map out the various tasks. We might be able to see that, wow, look at this month or this week in 17th of August. There's a lot of things to do in that week. So that can kind of help us. Maybe we want to look at this week's a little lighter. Let's move this, X back over to here. So we just cut it, put it over here, P, and make this week a little bit lighter. So it's helping to look forward a little bit, understand where your tasks fall in the weeks ahead of you, and make sure that you meet all of your tasks. Hopefully organize yourself a bit more. Anyway, try it out. You don't have to use this particular method, but you got to use some method. Got to figure out how to manage your time effectively. One thing I like to tell everybody is time is the great equalizer. We all have different skills. Some of us have different resources, but we all have the same amount of time, so learning how to manage your time can be one of the best ways to be successful. All right, if you have any questions on this screencast, be sure to email me. I will upload this sample to the Family Connection in a time management folder, which is in the My Documents folder on Family Connection. Hope this was useful to you, and talk to you soon.